What's happening, guys? My name is Adam, aka Speedy Spectrum, and welcome back to Let's Play and Dub Pokemon Fire Red. In the last episode, we explored 2 and 3 Island, and we even reunited a father with his lost daughter. How precious. In this episode, we are going to travel across the sea in order to collect our 8th and final gym badge. I know, the time has come and I couldn't be more excited. So with the help of Schneider, we will sail across the water and run past these trainers because I fought them all off screen. And would you believe that one of these trainers had a full team of Magikarps? Yeah, that's rather sad, but to each his own, I guess. Speaking of which, here in this patch of grass, we can encounter one new Pokemon, and that is Tangla. Tangla is number 114 in the Pokédex. It is a grass type. As a matter of fact, it is the only pure grass-type Pokemon of the original 150 roster, so that's pretty interesting. It does have some solid physical defense, but its other stats are pretty crummy. And as a grass Pokemon, it has tons of weaknesses and is relatively slow. It can learn some interesting moves, such as Ingrain, which allows it to recover HP at the end of each turn, but it would be so much better if it had its evolution of Tangrowth. But alas, this is Fire Red and Leaf Green, not Diamond Pearl and Platinum. And for this reason, I really can't recommend Tangela at all. With that aside, we're going to continue swimming up the water, because now we're in Pallet Town. Haven't been here in a while. I suppose we should be a good son and go visit our mom, because I'm not sure if I took any damage off screen. Whatever damage I took, Mom will heal right up because she's just that awesome. And I wonder, is the same thing playing on TV? Yes, it is. They are still airing Stand By Me. We really need to get more channels. And possibly a DVR. But that can wait. You can pay a visit to Oak's lab and he can give you a Pokédex rating, but that's really not necessary. Instead, we're going to head up Route 1 and put up another repel because I don't want to be swarmed by Pidgeys and Rattatas, especially since we're 40 or so levels higher than them now. It seemed like only yesterday we set off through Route 1 on the start of our Pokemon journey, and now it's almost come to an end. And now we're in Viridian City. There's one major thing we have to do, and that is, of course, to cut down this bush and talk to the NPC who is there. No, that's not really what we want to do, but it is worth showing off. He's a little sleepy, as you can see, and he mentions something about a drowsy eating his dream. Believe it or not, this guy is a move tutor, and he will offer to teach one of your Pokemon Dream Eater. Dream Eater is a psychic attack, and a pretty powerful one, too. It works much like Absorb. Half the damage inflicted on the opponent is healed to the user. However, the move only works if the Pokemon is asleep. I think it's got a base power of around 100, so it definitely hits hard. But it's very situational, really not worth using in all honesty. We've appreciated Parasec's company, but we're going to bring back our good buddy Amber. Isn't that nice? Alright, now that the roster change is complete, we're going to head up and to the right. Does this look familiar? Yep, it's the gym that was closed when we first entered Viridian City. But now, according to this NPC, the the gym leader has returned, so we can finally enter after all this time. Things really have come full circle. Let's talk to the gym guide.
Yo, champion making. Even I don't know Viridian leader's identity. But one thing's certain. This will be the toughest of all the gym leaders. Also, I heard that the trainers here like ground-type Pokémon.
Well, that's good to know. And this also looks familiar. Remember those panels in the Team Rocket hideout? The ones that push us across? Yeah, nothing suspicious going on here at all. If that isn't a clue to who the Viridian gym leader is, then I don't know what will be. As the gym guide mentioned, all of the trainers, including the gym leader, use ground-type Pokémon. But you're also going to be fighting a few poison and fighting types as well. If you have a psychic Pokémon like Yulin, this gym is going to be an absolute breeze. I know, quite unfitting for the final gym in the game, but what can you do? As far as starter Pokemon are concerned, Charizard isn't going to be particularly useful here. And this guy has a Tauros. I don't think we've seen a trainer use Tauros before. We only encountered it in the Safari Zone. But anyway, back to what I was saying. If you have Charizard, he's not going to be of much use here. If you have Blastoise, however, yeah, this is going to be a complete breeze. It's also going to be relatively easy if you have Venusaur with you, as ground-type Pokemon are also quite weak against grass-type attacks. They might have a few difficulties against poison types, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. Needless to say, Schneider's going to get a workout. As a matter of fact, I'm only going to use 2 Pokemon in this gym, and that is Schneider and Yulin. Oh wow, Machoke is using Submission, which is one of the most powerful fighting type moves in the game, which causes recoil damage, but it's still not going to help him very much. Amber and Howland are not going to be helpful at all in this gym, particularly Amber, since her electric attacks won't have any effect against these ground Pokemon. I will say there are a lot of trainers in this gym. Even though they aren't too difficult to beat if you have the right Pokemon, you may have to go back to the Pokemon Center every now and then for a fresh start. The leader is back, and I believe you are a new trainer we have not yet encountered. Yes, indeed, you are a cool trainer. A male cool trainer, I believe. We fought a cool trainer in the Celadon City Gym, but that trainer was female. This is a male, and the males are essentially the same as females. They tend to use strong, evolved Pokemon, as well as hyper potions when their HP gets low. In later games, they would be known as ace trainers, which sounds a lot cooler than cool trainers, ironically enough. And you're going to go for Rhyhorn, so let's switch out to Schneider. In retrospect, I probably should have used Schneider to take out those 2 Sand Slashes. But what can you do? What can you do? Let's hit you with an Ice Beam, because Rhyhorn doesn't have the greatest special defense. That's the one common weakness the Pokemon in this gym have. They don't have very good special defense. They have terrific physical defense, but you'll definitely want to use water or psychic attacks or grass attacks to take them out. Needless to say, if you have Blastoise or Venusaur, you're going to have a pretty easy time with this gym. If you have Charizard, not so much. You're definitely going to need some support Pokemon in that case. Hence the reason why I'm not going to use Howland in this gym. But that's okay, because Howland has had plenty of chances to shine throughout this project. And last up is a Nidoking. I believe this is the first Nidoking that we've ever fought. Alakazam is running out of psychic attacks, but I'm not too worried because I have plenty of ethers and elixirs on hand. Alright, that was pretty easy. I also know that the trainers here have a lot of Pokemon on hand. They tend to use upwards of 4 or 5, and the Repel's effect wore off. Not like we're really going to need it. So we have 3 more trainers in this area, 1 more above us, and I believe there's another. So there's a grand total of 7 trainers in this gym, excluding the gym leader. And let's go ahead and switch out to Schneider. Schneider is the ultimate ground Pokemon killing machine. So let's hit Sandslash with a Surf. No chance it's going to survive that. I thought the choice of putting the final gym in the first city you travel to in the game was a stroke of genius on the developer's part. Because when you first see it, picture yourself playing this game for the very first time. You travel to Viridian City, and you see this mysterious-looking Pokemon gym that is locked all the time. The first thing you wonder is what's going on in that gym. And that's certainly how I felt when I first played through the game. And keep in mind, websites like Game FAQs and NeoSeeker didn't exist back then. So you literally had no idea what was going on, and you had no way of looking it up. The only way you could find out what was going on was by actually playing the game. It's just one of those little touches that make playing Pokemon a wonderful experience. And speaking of a wonderful experience, this is quite simple. And yeah, this guy has 5 Pokemon too. So this is just a straight up surf fest. Alright, not bad at all. Not bad, not bad. And Schneider's almost on a level up. In fact, he probably will get a level up in the future. Yeah, I think we need to keep Yulin out in the front line because this next guy is a black belt trainer. And he roars. For some reason, when trainers roar, they think it makes them look tougher, and it really doesn't. And these guys have some weird names. This dude's name is Atsushi, and that cool trainer's name was Yuji. Maybe they were running out of Western names, I don't know. But one thing I do know is that my mouth is getting dry and I'm going to take a quick drink. Here's a tip for any of you future Let's Players or live streamers. Have a glass of water on hand. It really makes the whole experience much better. Okay, we're doing pretty well here, I have to say. And we are almost done with all of the trainers. I'm gonna go ahead and bring Schneider back to the front line, because I believe this dude has a couple of ground Pokemon. He said Pokemon and him make wonderful music together. Well, this battle is going to end on a sour note for you, my friend, because one Ice Beam and your Rhyhorn is going to bite the dust. Well, that worked out much better than I thought. You are in perfect harmony. And what is that thing you're holding in your hand? Is that a lollipop? I have no idea what that's supposed to be. A lollipop in one hand and a bullwhip in the other. Some things just don't make sense in the slightest. Once again, you have 5 Pokemon. For some reason, these guys think that having 5 Pokemon of the same or similar types will win you battles, and maybe they will. I mean, why else would these guys serve as gym trainers for the final gym? And Schneider grew to level 48. Excellent. So now he's going to send in his Marowak. No big deal. We fought plenty of Marowaks. And as ferocious as their physical attack is, they're not fast, and they don't have good special defense. I believe Schneider is now my joint highest level Pokemon alongside Howland. And by the end of this gym, it could very well be my highest level. I'm not 100% sure. But only time will tell. Alright, we're going to switch over to... You know what? I'm going to fight fire with fire this time. I'm going to go back on what I said about using only Schneider and Yulin. Let's have Rasmussen deal with this Nidorina. Because one Earthquake and this thing is going down. Well, that worked out much better than I thought. As you can see, these Pokemon are in the high 30s and early 40s range, so the levels are climbing up a bit. Thankfully, I still surpass all of them in level, but once I get to the gym leader, he will surpass me in terms of level, but he won't surpass me in terms of difficulty. Alright, with that dude taken care of, we're going to fight one last trainer. He says he's the Karate King, but we already fought the Karate Master in Saffron City. Dude, you need to get with the program. I wonder how much damage an Ice Beam would do against this Machoke. It probably won't knock it out in one turn. And it didn't. Oh, and it's going to use Vital Throw. I don't think we've seen that move yet. Vital Throw is a fighting type move that always goes second, but it never misses. Kind of an interesting move, I have to say. And yeah, you know what? Let's send in Howland. Upon further consideration, Schneider and Yulin have been hogging the spotlight. And I want everyone, with the exception of Amber, because she's not very useful in this gym, to have their fair share. Let's hit Machop with an aerial ace, and it goes down. Excellent. And I was right. Howland is my joint highest level Pokemon. Alright, one last Machoke, and we should be good to go. So let's hit you with another aerial ace. It probably won't knock you out. Oh! Managed to survive with one sliver of HP. Oh, and it used Revenge. Ooh, Revenge is a move that increases in strength when the attacker is damaged first. Alright, that is it for all of the gym trainers. And ordinarily, I would go to the Pokemon Center to heal up my Pokemon. But I don't think I'm going to need that. The Max Elixir was used on Schneider, which means the PP of all of his moves are restored. Very nice. And I wonder, do I still have any Ethers? Yes, I still have plenty of Ethers and Elixirs. I'm going to go ahead and use one on Yulin's Psychic attack. And that should do it. Alright, in order to get to the gym leader, we'll need to go to the right side of the gym and onto this panel, and then you'll have to battle this guy in order to get to the gym leader. But when we go around, oh my goodness, look who it is. It is none other than our old buddy Giovanni.
Welcome to my hideout. It shall be so until I can restore Team Rocket to its former glory. But you have found me again. So be it. This time, I'm not holding back. Once more you shall face Giovanni, the greatest trainer.
That's right. The final gym leader is none other than the leader of Team Rocket, Giovanni himself. I don't know how many of you saw this coming back in the day. I sure as heck didn't. This was a total surprise to 8-year-old me. Anyway, he's going to be leading off with a Rhyhorn, level 45, ground and rock type, lightning rod for the ability with the moves Takedown, Rock Blast, Scary Face, and Earthquake. Despite being the final gym leader, Giovanni is not all that tough. He does have some diversity in attacks and types, but he's just as easy as the other times you fought him. And now he's going to send out his Dugtrio, which is at level 42, ground type, Sand Veil for the ability, which means its evasion is increased in a Sandstorm, irrelevant because he has no way of activating a Sandstorm, with the moves Slash, Sand Tomb, Mud Slap, and Earthquake. Earthquake is Giovanni's attack of choice. You have seen how effective it is when Rasmussen uses it. It is very powerful, and one of the strongest and best attacks in the entire game in terms of effectiveness and accuracy. But it cannot hit flying-type Pokemon. I am going to switch over to Yulin to deal with his Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is at level 44, Poison Ground type, Poison Point for the ability with the moves Double Kick, Earthquake, Poison Sting, and Body Slam. Nidoqueen is very bulky, and it's at level 44, pretty high at this stage of the game, so you might not be able to knock it out in one hit. Thankfully, Yulin's special attack makes that all irrelevant. This should be a complete sweep, but we'll see. Now his next Pokemon is going to be Neato King, level 45, Poison Ground type, Poison Point for the ability with the moves Double Kick, Earthquake, Poison Sting, and Thrash. Similar to Nidoqueen, but it's got Thrash instead of Body Slam, which can deal some damage. Nidoking is the more aggressive of the two Nidos. So watch out, you could be suffering some heavy damage if you're unlucky. And Yulin grows to level 49, so now Yulin is my highest leveled Pokemon. His last Pokemon is a Rhyhorn, and this puzzles me. Why? Because in Red, Blue, and Yellow, in the classic games, instead of a second Rhyhorn, he had a Rhydon, which is the evolved form of Rhyhorn. I have no idea why they decided to give him a second Rhyhorn. It's at level 50, ground rock type, lightning rod for the ability with the moves Takedown, Rock Blast, Scary Face, and Earthquake. Exactly the same moveset as the first one. Instead of Earthquake, he instead used an attack called Fissure in Red, Blue, and Yellow, which can instantly KO the opponent in one hit, but it only has 30% accuracy. But that doesn't matter because, yeah, Schneider grew to level 49. That's pretty awesome. And that is it. We have beaten Giovanni.
Huh. That was a truly intense fight. You have won. As proof, here is the Earth Badge. The Earth Badge makes Pokemon of any level obey without question. It is evidence of your mastery as a Pokemon trainer. With it, you can challenge the Pokemon League. Also, take this TM. Consider it a gift for your Pokemon League challenge.
And he gives us TM26, which contains the move Earthquake.
TM26 contains Earthquake. It is a powerful attack that causes a massive tremor. I made it when I ran the gym here far too long ago. Having lost in this fashion, I can't face my followers. I have betrayed their trust. As of today, Team Rocket is finished forever. As for myself, I shall dedicate my life to training again. Let us meet again someday. Farewell.
And thus, he was never heard from again. But that's it. We have collected the Earth Badge. And one thing that Giovanni didn't mention is that when you have the Earth Badge, all Pokemon will obey you regardless of level.
Blow me away! Giovanni was the gym leader of Viridian?
We've done it. We have finally collected all 8 gym badges. And now that we have, we are ready to challenge the Pokemon League. After a brief heal at the Pokemon Center.